Hello everyone and welcome to our today's show. This is City News TV show and my name is Gideon Mumo, and today we have a very interesting topic. It's something which affects most of the youths, that is addiction to masturbation, addiction to pornography and to sexual intercourse of any type. And we have a Reverend here, Reverend Eliud. He will be talking to us how to deal with masturbation, to deal with pornography, and to deal with addiction to sexual intercourses. And I'll first take this chance to welcome him to say something small about himself, who he is. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Brother Gideon. It's a great honor to once again appear on your show, and thanks for the great work you're doing, especially to reach young people. I always say I'm a pastor to young people, though we lead a church called JEC, Jesus Exaltation Church. It has several families, but mostly made up of young people. I have served in the church for 5 years now, and I've seen the damage that addiction can cause. And then God privileged me to do counseling psychology as my career.
Yeah.
And so being in the two worlds gives me a very good bird's view of how things are with our generation. I would say this, that addiction, as we said in the previous show, is a place where somebody becomes dependent or hooked to a certain substance or habit to the point where they are helpless when it comes to that habit. That is addiction. Now, when you talk about sex addiction, we start there. It is a situation where a person, mostly this affects young people and to a lesser degree also adults, they get used to so much to having sex that they cannot survive with it. And so to be able to meet this demand, you find that now people have to have multiple sexual partners, because it is not easy for one partner to agree to have sex in the morning, in the evening, in the morning, in the evening. But this person has that capacity to do it because it is an addiction. And when it comes to that, the person now becomes helpless in that behavior. And if it's not going to happen the right way, they have to look for a way to get it, even if it means paying for it or doing it from a point of violence. Now, the other addiction that is closely related is pornographic addiction, where somebody gets used to watching pornography to the point that they cannot control themselves in the same. And this happens both in and outside the church. I want you to know, Gideon, that addiction does not respect faith,
Yeah.
does not respect age, does not respect ethnicity, does not respect even socioeconomic status. It's something that cuts across the divide. And so when somebody gets hooked to pornography, they cannot survive without visiting a pornographic site. And actually it makes somebody feel guilty but helpless at the same time. So it's a mix of feelings, and that's why people who are in addiction end up being depressed because of that. Now, with the pornographic addiction, there is something else that you cannot avoid, and which is a byproduct of that. It is called masturbation.
Yeah.
So these are like swings that support each other.
A brother and a sister.
Is a brother and a sister. I don't know if they are both sisters or something,
Yeah.
because they are so effective to destroy somebody's life. So you find that when somebody is addicted to masturbation, they are also addicted to pornography, because it is what sustains the habit. Because psychologically, what happens to somebody who is addicted to masturbation, they cannot actually feel satisfied with the normal sexual activities, but they look for more and more hardcore material. Remember the first show we did with you, I told you something about tolerance.
Yeah.
It is that idea of what used to make me satisfied, now it is not.
Yeah.
So I have to look for something much more or much more complex, and that is what happens with masturbation and pornography. So the person, to get to a point where now they can masturbate, now they look for the more hardcore material. So you find that when you study people who are into masturbation, they keep on looking for more hardcore pornographic material to sustain the same habit that they used to sustain with the fantasies alone. Yeah, that's how it goes.
If I can ask, Why do you think people choose to masturbate?
Actually, it is a question that has been in church. Is it even a sin? One of the reasons why masturbation is very popular is because it is safe. Safe meaning that I don't need a relationship. I don't need the hassle of a woman. I don't need the hassle of a relationship. So I'm safe from HIV. I'm safe from the guilt that accompanies, especially for those who are in church. Masturbation looks a safer bet because now you're not going to be counted in terms of sinning because there's no human being involved. But as we go, we're going to talk about the effects, and we see both the spiritual and the physical effects of masturbation. So I would say masturbation is a safer practice when compared now to having sex with a woman, because or with a man, because now there are more things involved in that: HIV, STIs, and the hustle and the bustle of every day of maintaining a relationship. That's why it looks like an attractive option when you talk to people.
Okay, you've talked about the effect of masturbation, but before we go to that, I would like you to share if there are some signs which you can look to someone and identify that they have been to masturbation, pornography, or sexual thing.
From the outside, it will be hard, but for keen people, they may be able to note that. First, as a person, in order to know that you are addicted, the intensity of repetition continues increasing.